Good morning, students. In the previous video lecture on the topic amines, you have studied one chemical property of amines, that is basic character of amines. Today we will discuss the remaining chemical properties of amines. In that, the second one is alkylation. Alkylation is a process of introducing alkyl group. Here, amines reacts with alkyl halides. Amines reacts with alkyl halides to form different amines of higher order. In this particular reaction, what happens? Generally, alkylation is introduction of alkyl group in the molecule. In this particular reaction, where we are dealing with the chemical property of amines, in this reaction, amines reacts with alkyl halides to form amines of higher order. Higher order means if we take primary amine as a reactant, we get secondary amine as a product. If we take secondary amine, it on reaction gives tertiary amine. So like that, higher order amines are formed. So generally we can represent the reaction like this. Primary amine is represented as RNH2. So when primary amine is treated with alkyl halide. So here you know that carbon halogen bond is polar in nature. So X is more electronegative. It readily goes out as X minus. So when it goes out as X minus, the alkyl group or the carbon bears the positive charge, which is electron deficient. So as it is electron deficient, the lone pair of electrons which are present on the nitrogen, that makes this whole molecule to act as a nucleophile. So this nucleophile goes and attacks the electron deficient carbon. So what happens? The product will be R. Nitrogen, now it attacks the alkyl group. So it combines with R. Now here X goes out as X minus, and nitrogen, to get the stability, loses its one hydrogen, and so there is a formation of this compound. So here this is our secondary amine. Hydrogen halide is a byproduct in the reaction. So like this the reaction takes place. So primary amine on treatment with alkyl halide, it forms secondary amine. If I take the same secondary amine as a reactant, and if I have excess of alkyl halide in the reaction mixture, then what happens? The further reaction takes place. Here one more hydrogen is replaced by the alkyl group. So similarly, the same way nucleophilic substitution takes place. Simply we can tell that there is a replacement of hydrogen by alkyl group. So there is a formation of tertiary amine like this. Correct? So hydrogen and halogen goes out as HX, R combines with this nitrogen. So there is a formation of tertiary amine. Similarly, if I take tertiary amine can be written as R3N, which is treated with alkyl halide. Then what happens? Now there is no hydrogen for the replacement, but still the reaction takes place because of the presence of lone pair of electron. So it again attacks the alkyl group here, which will be carrying the positive charge. So there is a formation of R4N plus X minus. So this is our quaternary ammonium salt. Quaternary ammonium salt is formed as a product. So like this the alkylation takes place. So many reactions, or we are getting these mixture of products only when we have alkyl halide in excess. When we have alkyl halide in excess, we are getting this reaction. Continuously we are getting different products. We are getting different amines. Okay. So this is the general reaction, how the alkylation takes place in case of amines. If I write an example here, in place of R, put any alkyl group, you can get the example. So example, when ethylamine is C2H5 NH2. Ethylamine is treated with ethyl iodide. So what is the product? As I said, in simple way, how you can remember this? You have to replace one hydrogen by alkyl group. So C2H5 N, remove one hydrogen, in that place you write another C2H5 and the other remaining hydrogen will be with iodine. So HI is a byproduct. So this is the primary amine. Here we get the secondary amine. This is N-ethyl ethanamine. Ethylamine or ethanamine gives N-ethyl ethanamine. If I take secondary amine, this one as a reactant, C2H5 NH C2H5, then what happens on reaction with ethyl iodide? There is a formation of one hydrogen is replaced by alkyl group. So we get here C2H5 thrice N plus HI. So now this is tertiary amine. The name is NN diethyl ethanamine, which is treated with ethyl iodide to form quaternary ammonium salt. So 4 times N plus I minus. So this is tetraethyl ammonium iodide. So this is an example of alkylation. The third chemical property of amines is acylation. It is the process of introducing acyl group in any molecule. Acyl group is RCO group. So if you are introducing this group in any molecule, then it is considered as acylation. Here what we are doing here, the primary and secondary aliphatic amines, aliphatic and aromatic, primary and secondary amines reacts with acid chlorides, or anhydrides or esters. When aliphatic or aromatic primary and secondary amines reacts with acid chloride or anhydrides or with esters, the replacement of hydrogen atom by acyl group takes place to form N-substituted amines. Okay, so here the aliphatic and aromatic primary and secondary amines reacts with acid chlorides or acid anhydrides or with esters. There is a replacement of hydrogen atom of primary and secondary amine takes place by an acyl group, and there is a formation of N-substituted amines as a product. That is, for example, generally I can write here, if RCOCl is the acid chloride, so when it is treated with primary amine, what happens? Here the hydrogen of amine is replaced by the acyl group. Here the acyl group is RCO group. It is replacing one of the hydrogen atom of primary amine. So I can write here, it is RNH2. One hydrogen combines with the Cl to go out as HCl, and N gets connected to this carbon atom. So there is a formation of, or generally I can write it as RCOCl. This is acid chloride, reacts with primary amine. The same compound I can write it as RNH2, right? So here acid chloride reacts with primary amine. This goes out as HCl and there is a formation of RCONHR. So N substituted amine. RCONH is an amide linkage. So here nitrogen is having an substitution, that is alkyl group is connected to the nitrogen. So it is called as N substituted. N substituted amide is formed as a product. Clear? So acid chloride or anhydrides or esters on reaction with primary and secondary aliphatic or aromatic amine, it forms N substituted amides. So here what happens? Hydrogen is replaced by an acyl group. Hydrogen of primary and secondary amine is replaced by acyl group, or introduction of acyl group takes place in this particular reaction. If I take secondary amine, then what happens? Instead of primary, if we have secondary amide also, secondary means we'll be having two alkyl groups to the nitrogen. So what happens in this case? There is one more hydrogen available. So HCl goes out. There is a formation of RCONRR. So like this, there is a formation of N substituted amide. Okay, so this is when we have secondary amine. It gives NN disubstituted amides. Okay. Primary and secondary amines are showing this particular reaction, but tertiary do not undergo acylation reaction. Tertiary amines do not undergo acylation reaction, this reaction. Why tertiary amines will not undergo this reaction? Because there is an absence of hydrogen atom attached to the nitrogen. So there is no hydrogen attached to the nitrogen atom for replacement. Tertiary amines do not undergo this particular reaction because there is no hydrogen atom attached to the nitrogen atom, right? So because of this reason, there is no hydrogen atom for replacement. That's why tertiary amines do not undergo acylation reaction. When we have primary amine, we get N substituted amide. When we have secondary amide, we get NN disubstituted amides as a product. And this particular reaction takes place in presence of strong bases like pyridine. Amine is also a base, but the whole reaction is carried out in the basic medium. So there we need a strong base like pyridine to carry out the reaction, because here HCl will be the byproduct release. So to remove that HCl, we need stronger base. For that reason, we are using stronger bases than amines. That is, here we are using pyridine to carry out the reaction. The use of pyridine in the whole reaction is to remove the byproduct HCl. To remove this HCl, to neutralize this HCl, we are using pyridine in the whole process. So I will write some examples here. The first example is when ethanamine is treated with acetic chloride, that is C2H5, NH2 is ethanamine. When it is treated with acetic chloride is CH3COCl. So when it is treated with acetic chloride, what happens? We know that there is a replacement of one hydrogen atom by acyl group. Instead of H, you have to write this COCH3. How this actually happens, that we'll see now. The lone pair of electrons which are present on the nitrogen, this makes this whole molecule as a nucleophile. So here in acid chloride, we have carbonyl group. Oxygen is electronegative element, so it tries to withdraw electron towards itself. So the pi electrons are shifted on oxygen. It tries to withdraw these pi electrons towards itself, because of which oxygen carries this carries negative charge and carbon will be electron deficient. It carries positive charge. So this becomes electron deficient. So because of this deficiency, now this nucleophile attacks this electron deficient carbonyl carbon. There is a formation of C2H5, N, nitrogen, now it is connected to the carbon which carries two hydrogens. Carbon is doubly bonded with oxygen, but oxygen takes up the pi electron, so this will be O minus, single bond O minus. Then it is connected to CH3 and Cl. So as nitrogen gives its electron to carbon to form a bond, so nitrogen carries positive charge like this. Correct. Now what happens? We have to stabilize this molecule. How the stabilization takes place? Nitrogen can't bear this positive charge. There are 4 bonds which is not stable. So what happens? It takes up the electron from this bond. H goes out as H plus. So H goes out as H plus, and here oxygen being more electronegative and it can't bear the negative charge, it gives its electron back to the carbon, and carbon and oxygen now gets double bond again. So when this gets the double bond, it becomes 5 bonds. So to get that stability, because maximum capacity of carbon is to have only 4 bonds. So what happens? To get that stability, Cl goes out as Cl minus. So what we get as a product? C2H5. Nitrogen is bonded to one hydrogen. Here hydrogen gives its electron to the nitrogen, right? So hydrogen goes out as H plus, and carbon will be having doubly bonded oxygen on one side, and on other side we have CH3. Cl goes out as Cl minus. So that H plus and Cl minus combines to form HCl, and you get this particular amide, that is N-ethyl ethanamide as a product. N-ethyl ethanamide is formed as a product. Okay, understood how the reaction takes place? Ethylamine reacts with acid chloride, acetic chloride. So oxygen is doubly bonded with the carbon. Oxygen being more electronegative withdraws electrons towards itself. So it becomes negatively charged. Carbon becomes positively charged. Electron deficient carbonyl carbon, which gets attacked by the nitrogen, which is a nucleophile here. So nucleophilic attack takes place. So you get this particular species. As nitrogen gives its electron to form a bond, nitrogen carries positive charge. So the rearrangement takes place to get the stable compound with the release of HCl. So we get our stable compound ethyl, N-ethyl ethanamide. So HCl formed in this whole process is stabilized by the base which we are taking here. So this will be usually pyridine. This is first example. Similarly, we can write another example with the secondary amine. Instead of taking ethanamine, we will take N-ethyl ethanamine. So what we get as a product? See, The second example is C2H5 NH C2H5 N or N-ethyl ethanamine. When it is reacted with CH3COCl, what happens in presence of a base? What is the product formed in this particular reaction? See, you should remember how the reaction takes place that I showed in the first example. And generally, you know that there is a replacement of hydrogen of amine by the acyl group. So just you do this one. Remove this hydrogen and place the acyl group. So what you get as a product? C2H5 N C2H5, and here we will be having our COCH3. COCH3 is the acyl group which we are introduced. H combines with the Cl to form HCl. Clear? Similarly, another example, the third example, if I take benzenamine C6H5 NH2. C6H5 NH2. When it is treated with CH3COCl, I'll write the same compound in another way. CH3COCl. So what you get? There is a release of HCl. So product will be C6H5 NHCOCH3, right? N-phenyl ethanamide or acetanilide is the product. Correct? So like this, you can remember the reaction. Understood? In the first example, I have shown how the mechanism or how the reaction takes place. That is the mechanism. This is how, these are the examples. Just replace hydrogen by the acyl group, you'll get your product. Okay, and these are called as acylation, where we are replacing CH3CO. This is the acyl group. Instead of CH3CO, if we are substituting C6H5CO, if in place of R, if we have a benzene ring, that is C6H5CO, if that is there, then the whole process will be called as benzoylation. Instead of acylation, that reaction will be called as benzoylation. That is replacing hydrogen of amine by the benzoyl group. So benzoylation. Benzoylation is placing or replacing hydrogen atom of amines by benzoyl group, that is C6H5CO. So if this group E we are introducing, then it is called as benzoylation. Okay, so for this benzoylation, what we have to take, instead of acid chloride CH3COCl, we have to take C6H5COCl. Acetic chloride. Instead of using acetic chloride, we have to use benzoyl chloride. For example, if I take methylamine as a amine, and in case of acid chloride, if we have benzoyl chloride, here benzoyl group is present. So if this undergoes reaction, what happens? This Cl and one hydrogen goes out as HCl, and there is a formation of CH3 NHCOCH3. Correct? Sorry, C6H5. C6H5. CH, I'll write again. We get CH3 NHCO C6H5. So this is the benzoyl group introduced in the amine. This is N-methyl benzamide. The release of HCl. N-methyl benzamide is formed as a product. So this reaction is called as benzoylation. If we are replacing hydrogen by CH3CO, then it is acylation. If it is C6H5CO, then it is called as benzoylation. The next reaction is carbylamine reaction. This is very important for the examination, most of the time asked in the examination for 2 marks. Carbylamine reaction is the reaction in which aliphatic and aromatic primary amines on heating with chloroform and ethanolic potassium hydroxide forms respective isocyanides or carbylamines. Isocyanide or a carbylamine is a foul smelling substance. It is having very unpleasant odor. So by that odor you can identify there is a formation of a isocyanide. So what happens in this reaction? Aliphatic or aromatic primary amine, which is represented as RNH2, when it is treated with chloroform. Chloroform is CHCl3 and alcoholic KOH. So when these are heated, what happens? There is a formation of alkyl or respective isocyanide. Isocyanide is represented as NC. CN is cyanide, NC is isocyanide. So this is formed as a product. Carbylamine or isocyanide is forming, which is having foul smell. And that smell shows the formation of the isocyanide. And the byproducts are KCl and water. Right? So here there is a reaction between primary amine with chloroform and alcoholic potassium hydroxide. On heating there is a formation of isocyanide or a carbylamine which is having foul smell, and KCl and water are the byproducts. This is very important reaction for the examination. And remember, this reaction is not possible for secondary and tertiary amine. Secondary and tertiary amines do not show this reaction or do not undergo this particular reaction. Okay, this is only for the primary amine. It may be aliphatic or aromatic. Both of them are showing this particular reaction. For example, instead of R, if I put any alkyl group, I'll get an example. So CH3NH2 is methylamine. When it is treated with chloroform and potassium hydroxide, there is a formation of CH3NC. So methyl isocyanide is formed as a product. Similarly, if I take here C6H5NH2, that is aniline, treated with chloroform and potassium hydroxide, these on heating gives phenyl isocyanide is formed. There is a triple bond between nitrogen and carbon with the same byproducts. Okay, so these are the 2 examples, and this is the carbylamine reaction. Very important for the examination. Carbylamine reaction. I repeat, when aliphatic and aromatic primary amines are heated with chloroform and ethanolic KOH, it forms respective isocyanide. Isocyanides are having foul smell. These are the examples. The 5th reaction is reaction with nitrous acid. Nitrous acid is HNO2. Nitric acid is HNO3, whereas nitrous acid is HNO2. So HNO2 is not stored in the laboratory. Whenever it is required, we have to prepare it. As it is not that stable, we have to prepare this whenever it is required. That too in situ, we have to prepare it. In situ means we have to take such reagents by the combination of which during the reaction this will be liberated. Okay, so to release HNO2 or to get HNO2, what we are taking here is we are taking sodium nitrite in HCl. When NaNO2, sodium nitrite, is treated with hydrochloric acid, it releases nitrous acid. So to get nitrous acid, we are treating NaNO2 in HCl. So what is the reaction here? We are dealing with the chemical properties of amines. So the first in this is reaction with nitrous acid. How the aliphatic amines reacts with nitrous acid. Aliphatic primary amines. aliphatic primary amines on reaction with nitrous acid, it forms, on reaction with nitrous acid, there is a formation of, on reaction with nitrous acid, there is a formation of aliphatic diazonium salt. It gives aliphatic diazonium salt, and this aliphatic diazonium salt is highly unstable. It is highly unstable. Okay, so that it undergoes further decomposition to form alcohol and nitrogen gas is released. Okay, so aliphatic primary amine on reaction with nitrous acid gives aliphatic diazonium salt, which is highly unstable compound, which undergoes hydrolysis, decomposes to form primary alcohol with the release of dinitrogen and HCl is regenerated. So this is the reaction. So we will write the general reaction here. Primary aliphatic amine is represented as RNH2. When it is treated with sodium nitrite in HCl, there is a formation of diazonium salt. Aliphatic diazonium salt means diazo refers to N2. Okay, so N2 plus Cl minus. So diazonium chloride. Here it is aliphatic diazonium chloride is formed, which is an unstable compound. So this undergoes hydrolysis to form alcohol, dinitrogen and HCl. Okay, so this is the reaction. When primary amine, aliphatic amine reacts with sodium nitrite in HCl, it gives aliphatic diazonium chloride, which is unstable, further undergoes hydrolysis to form respective alcohol, nitrogen gas and the HCl, hydrochloric acid, is released. Okay, this is for aliphatic primary amine. What happens if we take aromatic primary amine? The procedure is same. Only thing is, in case of aromatic amine, whatever the diazonium salt is formed, that is a stable compound. Compared to the aliphatic, aromatic diazonium salt is quite stable and it is used in the synthesis of variety of aromatic compounds. So we will see that reaction now. Aliphatic amines, here it is giving alcohol, right? So when aromatic primary amine is treated with nitrous acid, here the reaction takes place at 0 to 5 degrees Celsius or 273 to 278 Kelvin temperature. Okay, there is a formation of aromatic diazonium chloride as a product. As it is quite stable, we can isolate it and use it for the synthesis of many compounds. Okay, clear? So this is the general reaction. We'll write particular reaction for both now. So when aliphatic, I'll repeat the same reaction. Aliphatic primary amine reacts with NaNO2 in HCl. It gives Rn2 plus Cl minus, which is unstable, which on hydrolysis or decomposition gives alcohol, dinitrogen gas is liberated with the HCl. This is for aliphatic primary amine. If I take aromatic primary amine, the example is C6H5NH2. Aromatic means you should have the benzene ring. So for aliphatic amine, this is aniline. When it is treated with sodium nitrite in HCl at 0 to 5 degrees Celsius temperature or 273 to 278 Kelvin temperature, there is a formation of benzene diazonium chloride. N2 plus Cl minus. This is benzene diazonium chloride with the release of NaCl and H2. Okay, so just we'll balance it 2HCl. Okay, so like this we are getting the product, benzene diazonium chloride, and this particular reaction is called as diazotization. Getting diazonium salt by the treatment of sodium nitrite in HCl with primary amines at 0 to 5 degrees Celsius is called as diazotization reaction. This process is called as diazotization. Okay, and these diazonium salts are very important synthetic organic compounds. And this reaction is very important for the examination. Even this is important for 2 marks. They'll put the question mark or how you get the benzene diazonium chloride from aniline, or what happens when aniline is treated with nitrous acid. Such questions will be asked in the examination. So remember it.